Welcome to the first episode of the Clappercast. I'm Burke,
And I'm Sean.
and this is our very first episode, very first time trying it out. So bear with us as we kind of find our feet. So the World Junior Championship just ended with Finland winning the gold. Congratulations to them. So we figured we should talk about that. So as I said, Finland won. They played USA. Russia won bronze. Congratulations to all teams. Canada sadly lost.
Finished 6th overall. Not great, but
Feels
still
pretty
fun.
Feels pretty bad to be worse than Switzerland.
To be fair, though, Switzerland, they killed it when they needed to. And then in some of the bigger games, they killed it through round robin.
Yeah, that's always cool to see. I know a lot of people were pulling for them to do that and
Yeah.
to beat Russia. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
they could not.
It's always fun to cheer for the underdog.
Yeah, Victoria fans were cheering pretty crazily for Kazakhstan, and they did not relegate, so they're going to be back.
Yep. So they'll be back, I think, next year's in the Czech Republic, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sad for Denmark. They had a very rough tournament.
At least they scored a goal in the relegation game. At least they got a goal. That's
Yeah.
They were so unlucky through the round robin, though. They had so many chances that just amazing saves by the other goalie or hit the post or just wide. It hurt to watch.
And just to be that stat boost for Team Canada in that first game, that was rough opening. Just kind of never really recovered from that, I feel.
Yeah.
And I guess they're relegated, so Germany will be in next year.
Yep.
Which
is
cool.
and it's exciting after they did really well in the Olympics back in February.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see the junior team make it back into the top tournament now.
Yeah. So there's a few players that stood out in this tournament. I think people kind of got a glimpse at Capo Caco for the first time.
Yeah, it was the
for a
first
lot
time
of
I'd
people.
ever watched him.
I know some people are thinking that he might go first overall instead of Jack Hughes. I think it's really just a coin toss.
Yeah.
Capo Caco seems more of a rounded out player, whereas Hughes seems more of an offensive threat.
Hughes is small right now too. He's a little bit small and a little bit one-dimensional at the moment, which is normal out of a young player. So I actually just saw a thing about his parents might not even want him to play in the NHL next year, which would be, that they think he's too small. They don't want him to go up and get tossed around and hurt, which actually would be pretty unreal for a first or second overall pick to not be in the NHL his first year.
What's with all these parents getting more involved in their kids' life?
There's some that it's like they're just trying to relive their own dreams through their kids. There's a lot of helicopterish parents that are needing to be involved and dictate their kids' lives, and some are just involved with the kid's career.
Yeah, that's like Mitch Marner's dad talking about how he deserves to be captain and how he gets upset when he's not in the talks, and the team's gonna think that those are Mitch's ideas. So, to have a player's parents say, "I don't want him to play in the NHL," you're not helping his chances by saying that.
Yeah, and how's the player deal with that when a coach has to come and say, "Hey, can you tell your dad to stop interfering with our team?"
It's not the dad's career, right?
Yeah.
I get that you want your kid to have the best opportunity and not get hurt and all that, but at the end of the day, your son has a decision to make, and it's his decision, not yours.
Totally.
So, stay out of it. But another player, I'm a Caps fan, so I thought Alex Alexiev had a hell of a tournament.
He looked solid. Lots of penalties in the first few games, but still a solid defenseman. I think he scored a couple goals too.
Yeah, he made that one player on Slovakia just undressed him. I think it was on Slovakia, where he just cut from the boards into the middle and then ripped a shot.
I missed that.
The guy fell down, just totally deeped him out of his pants.
Undressed.
But it looked like he got some pretty hard minutes. He was playing a lot of ice time. Every time I saw a defenseman out there for Russia, it was mostly him. So it seemed like he got a lot of ice time.
And Romanov too, I think.
Yeah.
Defenseman of the tournament. I think he looked solid. He was solid the whole time.
Wow, what was the Slepets?
Yes. Yeah,
that
Slepets.
guy looks
That's a fun name to say.
He looks like a stud.
He does.
I didn't think he was on anybody's radar, but
I've never heard of him.
I
But
mean, the hat trick in the last game, he seems like a
fast
fast,
offensive guy.
kills penalties.
Yeah.
Seems like someone will probably take a chance on him. I don't know if he'll be a first rounder, but maybe down.
Maybe. Is he draft eligible this year?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure,
Okay.
but I know teams are a little bit more hesitant to take Russians after the last few years.
Yeah,
but
there's kind of a select couple of teams that tend to have them all because they've got, I guess, a good reputation.
yeah, it seems like the more you have, the easier it is to get more.
Yeah, it's familiarity, comfort.
Yeah, like I know with the Capitals, Ovechkin, like huge draw.
Totally.
Like, having such a superstar from Russia, guys are more willing to come out.
Yeah.
Because they know that there's someone they can at least speak Russian with.
Yeah, and it just helps the transition when, Ovechkin already did that transition. He knows how to go through with it. He can help the guys out. He can bring them and integrate them into the team. And
yeah, what team has the most? Probably the Lightning.
yeah, it's either the Caps or the Lightning.
Yeah, because the Capitals have Orlov and Ovechkin
And Kuznetsov.
But I mean, there's got to be a team with more. But I don't know, just off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't know. Did anybody else stand out for you in the tournament?
Yeah, I'll have to go back to watching that that pre-tournament game in between Czech Republic and Slovakia, and we saw Jacob Lauko for the Czech Republic, who actually played really, really well that game. Strong offensive. He was driving to the net, creating chances. I didn't see a whole lot of him in the actual tournament, and it kind of looks like a lot of the Czech players underperformed, so I probably wouldn't have noticed him a whole lot anyways.
Yeah.
But that game that we saw him there, he looked like he could be a strong player.
Yeah. I think Klim Kostin showed some good and some bad.
Yeah.
Saying fuck you to the crowd and then that apology, and then the very next day putting your hands in your ears.
To be fair, though, he did apologize, and the crowd continued to boo him anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Go figure.
I mean, they were really going for Switzerland.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, you're in Canada, and like Canada-Russia hockey.
Also,
hockey
it was
rivalry,
a hell of a celly.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny. I saw it. I started laughing. I admit it's funny. It's nice.
Points off for being so emotional after losing. Did you see him after they lost?
Oh, he was. He was
a mess.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a hard game to lose.
I mean, I guess when you're playing for Russia, you might have to go to the gulag when you get back, for letting down the motherland. But like,
even like Elias Anderson last season was pretty pissed off after the losing the gold medal game.
Yeah, just throwing your medal into the stands.
I mean,
he got it back though, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they had to send an official up into the stands to get it. Like,
yeah,
as a fan, you can't keep that.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, a lot of these kids look like they're gonna have hell of career.
Yeah.
I mean, like I remember last tournament, Pedersen and Dahlin looked phenomenal, and now that's translating into an NHL career.
Absolutely.
I think Dahlin's doing above what people expected, and Pedersen obviously is on fire.
Yeah. And
speaking of Pedersen, maybe that we can just talk about what happened to him recently. So he got kind of into a weird little.
Just got their legs tangled up. It was weird.
Yeah, I mean, looked like they're going behind the net, and then Pedersen kind of bumped into Kotkaniemi, and then gave him a hook back, and then Pedersen fell very awkwardly on his leg.
Yeah, he got his leg and his ankle twisted a bit underneath him when he fell.
Yeah, so definitely worthy of a minor penalty. I think maybe more so for Kotkaniemi because of the retaliatory hook. It was such a huge hook too, like hauled him down. But after the game, Travis Green, the coach of the Canucks, said, it wasn't worthy of a penalty.
I honestly, I don't think it was. I didn't really see much of an infraction. I mean, I think they're probably also talking more about Pedersen getting injured rather than the hook.
Yeah.
I like there was nothing bad about what happened. It's just two guys got their legs tangled up and slipped and fell.
Yeah, I think like maybe for a game management, you'd want to take both from a referee's perspective because, I mean, that's like an all-star player. And Kotkaniemi, I mean, they're both young, but I mean, the Canucks don't really have any big bruisers. I guess good Branson's out there, but I didn't think the game got out of hand. I didn't really watch the whole game, but
I just saw this incident after.
you would think if like their all-star rookie got hurt, somebody might be coming out for Kotkaniemi. So maybe at least give him a minor penalty.
Maybe.
And the Canucks seem to get kind of the shit end of the stick a lot of the time for no suspension or draft picks or whatever. So I know a lot of people online were kind of upset that there was no call. But,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, looking back.
Well, of course, too, you're going to be a bit annoyed in the moment that your star player, the half the excitement of your team, is getting injured.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. No response.
And in the moment when you don't know how long he'll be out or if he's going to be out or come back, you probably want a bit more out for blood, you know?
Yeah, totally.
But it's come out that he's got, MCL sprain or something.
Sounds
so
about
he'll be
right.
out for a week or two.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll come back in time for the All-Star game because he's
you
a
wanna
hell of
see
a
him
player.
play,
You
yeah.
want to see him out there.
I want to
So,
see him and McDavid.
yeah. I mean, we both live in BC, and, neither of us are Canucks fans, but I think it's kind of cool to see them have something to be happy about because they have been, ever since the 2011 playoffs, they've kind of had nothing except for, I guess, Besser, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, putting fandoms aside, they're just exciting to watch. Like,
yeah.
you just want to watch good hockey, and you want to see the best players in the league generating offense and being exciting.
Yeah. So Besser got hurt last season, and it looks like Pettersson's probably going to win the Calder this year.
Yeah, it's probably
would
going to be between him. Probably Dahlin will get some attention.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. I can't even think of any other rookies that are making a big impact.
Yeah, I mean, Kotkaniemi, I don't know if he's been as impactful.
I think he's been solid. I don't think he's like unreal, but like he's been solid if he's still with the team and playing.
Yeah, so if Besser didn't get hurt last season, I think he probably would have won the Calder, and Pettersson's going to win it this year probably, most likely. So they have back-to-back best rookie basically. And they're going to be in the league for a long time.
Yep.
And it's going to be scary, especially for you as an Oilers fan.
Be exciting.
So,
I'll look at it that way. It's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe let's move on. So Kotkaniemi faced some pretty crazy threats on like Instagram and stuff after that. It's kind of been a trend lately where fans, I wouldn't even call them fans really, because they don't deserve it.
No,
but,
they don't deserve to be called a fan.
They're just going after these guys, just so angry, so volatile, going after them and people they love and care for and whatever. So Kotkaniemi got that, and Matheson, was it Mike Matheson? Is that his first name?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think
Anyway,
I think it's Mike.
I don't think anybody really knew about that guy until he threw Pettersson to the ice.
I knew about him, but only because the season prior he signed a long contract worth a decent amount of money, and everyone else asked who was that guy.
Yeah,
because no one had heard of him before.
So he got a lot of backlash. Well, not even backlash, just attacks from people. People were commenting on Instagram posts of him and his dog, saying like they wish the dog was dead.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So that's 2 now for Canucks fans, but it's definitely not just a Canucks fan thing.
No, it's everybody. It's
because
everybody in every post.
Like Max Comtois in the tournament, after his little dive thing, people were bullying him online.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Canada,
this was like racism and bullying. It wasn't just like bullying him. It was just like bashing an entire race of, the entire French Canadian community.
Yeah.
For no reason.
So clearly, you made the joke to me that people were not watching the Eberle commercials.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously, this commercial was airing every single commercial break, with Jordan Eberle talking about the dangers of cyberbullying and like don't do it.
Yeah.
And apparently nobody watched that.
So clearly the people who are doing that aren't paying attention to anything else.
There's a distinct lack of the ability to like sympathize and empathize with other people.
Yeah.
And you're anonymous on social media, like even though you still have like your name and probably your pictures, your profile. Like there's no way to retaliate against you.
Yeah, and like a professional athlete's not gonna, go after him. Like
No.
they have more brains than that.
Yeah. There's been a couple times where someone called out a bunch of people, insulting them on social media and stuff. But
I know Brad Marchand does that when people, and he does that in person too.
Yeah.
I've heard stories.
Does it with his teammates too.
Yeah,
More jokingly, but
yeah, with Krug recently.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it's definitely sad to see. I know it's in the NHL as well because and even in person because
look at how fans act in arenas.
Yeah, Tom Wilson recently. The Capitals were playing St. Louis. Wilson got in a fight with what's his name, Bortuzzo,
Yep.
who was practicing his fighting on his teammates. So he was ready. He was ready for a fight. They had to stand up for I don't even remember his name. The rookie that Tom Wilson hit in
Robert Thomas, maybe Kyrou.
Sundqvist? Is that his
Oscar
name?
Sundqvist. Yeah.
Oscar Sundqvist. So this was the first time that they were facing them since then.
Oh, from the preseason, right?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Tom Wilson hit Sundqvist, got it suspended for a long time.
Yes.
And this was the first time they were facing them, so you knew something was going to happen. So they threw down. It was a pretty even fight. But while Tom Wilson was in the box, one person in particular was yelling at him that, he wished Tom Wilson, what did he say? He wished that he was dead or something like that, but he also said, "I'm going to kill your family."
Yeah.
So there's video from people's, Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, social media of Tom Wilson just yelling at this guy. And apparently, there's some kids around. It's a hockey rink.
Oh, for
Tom
sure.
Wilson was saying stop acting like this when there's kids around or something.
For sure.
So it was cool to see that he didn't kind of lose his head. I know he was definitely yelling at the guy back, but
you kind of have to in a hockey arena,
probably
right?
pretty far away. It's loud.
Through the glass, through the crowd noise.
Yeah. But it's just show some class. Try not to.
It's amazing how just you aren't even aware. How are you not aware of what you're doing and where you are, and you think that's appropriate for the setting?
Yeah, death threats.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, that this guy wasn't kicked out or faced no repercussions for his actions.
Which I think is probably wrong, considering there's actual threats of violence and.
Yeah.
And it's totally.
And when the Capitals were in Chicago last season, Devontae Smith-Pelly was in the penalty box, and he had some racial comments, directed towards him. And I guess the penalty box attendant and DSP were talking or something, and the guys, the people who made that comment were actually ejected.
I think they got banned too.
Yeah, they got banned from, what is it in Chicago, the United Center?
United Center, yeah.
Yeah. So they got banned from there. So, props to Chicago Blackhawks for that because they,
responding.
There's no place for that.
No.
But I would say that, some racist comments like that and uttering threats to someone's family are pretty on par. So,
you don't even need to compare. Just that's severe on its own.
Yeah.
And there's enough video that you can kind of pick out which seat and which person it was, so you can probably figure out who they are from tickets.
And
ticketing software.
I know in NHL arenas they have an in-house number you can phone if someone's being disruptive or violent or something.
Yeah,
so
you can call over an usher.
You would think that somebody would have.
We hope, and then you kind of think,
you would hope.
Yeah,
you would hope.
Kind of think the bystander
that.
Effect, someone else probably did. I don't want to be that guy or whatever. I don't want to be that person.
But you never want to see that.
No.
For any player in the league, regardless of their reputation, that you don't have to go after a guy's family or whatever. You can chirp him, like Sidney Crosby.
Even then, I don't see it's totally appropriate for a random fan to get involved in chirping. It's funny and you can handle it a lot better if it's an actual kind of just a chirp like the players would have with each other. But I don't even think it's appropriate for fans to get in with the players on that.
Yeah, so to provide a little bit more information, Crosby was playing, I think it was in Montreal. I don't know where, but anyway, a fan was sitting next to the Penguins bench and was chirping Crosby all night, and then Crosby sent him a stick after the game signed that said, "Hey, nice chirps, go easy on me next time."
Yeah.
It was
I think it's a great response, and it's funny to see that type of interaction. I don't think it's entirely appropriate for a fan to get involved in it like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always
It's
going to
so
be
weird.
board bangers and people
Yeah.
yelling and
Of course.
stuff like that. But, it's kind of cool to see a nice story like that. Like, obviously didn't go over the line.
No, yeah, clearly
Um,
didn't. Like,
there's not much you can chirp Crosby for these days.
No.
Like, oh, you've won what 3 Stanley Cups and a gold medal like twice.
you won too much stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what are you gonna chirp him for?
No.
Like, oh, you suck, Crosby. You
Like,
didn't
yeah,
score
there's nothing.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's always gonna happen. But
Yeah, and I mean, this even goes back to, I think it was last season, the middle of the season, where Connor McDavid was out with his family having dinner in Edmonton,
oh yeah,
and they left the restaurant, and this group of fans started chirping, yelling at, and talking about like how bad the team was and stuff, just yelling at him from a distance, and then posted it on social media, obviously, and like they're all laughing through the whole thing, and you're just interrupting this guy out for dinner with his family and friends.
yeah, and like
No reason for that.
like out of everybody involved in the
Exactly.
Oilers organization, why would you do that to McDavid?
The one person who is not at fault
Yeah.
here. Like, he's the only person, well, him and Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins probably, that you don't have anything to get on their case about.
Yeah, it's kind of like people who go to a store and talk shit to like the people who work there, rather than
Yeah.
the execs or like
Yeah.
top upper management.
Yeah, like complaining
It's
to the cashier
like,
about the
yeah,
prices.
complaining to the cashier isn't gonna do anything.
Mhm.
They're just someone who works there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, McDavid is still just a guy who works there.
Yeah.
So he's not in charge of making those decisions. He's in charge of his own on ice performance, which
Mhm.
he excels at.
hmm
But he doesn't have control of like the lines.
Yeah,
even.
he's not
So-
the coach, he's not the GM, he's not the president of hockey ops. Like,
Yeah. So
he didn't put the team together. He's just in a situation.
Yeah. So, I mean, like we said, that's always gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
just people are dumb and do dumb things, but that's not representative of most fans.
No,
Most
there's always a
fans-
few, the vocal minority, that are just a bit extreme, and
Yeah. I mean,
you just don't give them the attention they don't deserve, and hopefully they just kind of like quiet down a little bit.
yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a difference between like saying hello to a hockey player in a public setting.
Oh,
and
sure.
Maybe trying to get an autograph.
If they're not like looking like they're busy with something else,
Yeah.
like totally inappropriate for
Like,
the situation.
That's completely different than interrupting someone's clearly private night out with their
Yeah.
family.
Yeah,
Like,
with nothing like, even at that, like, you can just say, "Hey, good luck at the game tomorrow" or something.
yeah,
You don't have to you don't even have to interact with them. Just acknowledge like, "Hey, nice to see you" or something. Good luck.
yeah.
And you don't have to like make fun of them, the team, and then laugh.
Yeah, I'm the type of person when I see someone, like, regardless of if they're a hockey player or not, like someone who's a celebrity or well known or something, I really do not want to go up to them. I'll maybe like say hi or
Yeah.
say like, oh, I'm a big fan or something, but I won't. I'll try to keep it minimal.
Yeah.
I just don't want to bug them.
Oh, yeah,
Ever.
totally.
Like,
You're
I'm
you're
s-
not you're not at work right now, type thing.
yeah,
Like, you're just
like,
out doing your
you're
life.
just out doing your thing. Like, I would hate to be in that situation where everywhere you go, someone's bugging you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's nice at the beginning, but it probably gets old really fast.
Yeah,
Especially in these big market.
just trying to go to the
NHL.
grocery store and buy some milk. Go away.
Yeah, I know that's a reason why a lot of guys like playing in the like smaller markets, is because they're
Yeah.
less recognized. Like I remember hearing a story about how like Bobby Ryan, when he went to Ottawa from Anaheim, he was like getting recognized in grocery stores and stuff. I think it might have been on like a Players Tribune article or something.
Mm.
How there was nowhere he could hide.
Yeah, it's hard because
like-
you always have to be on.
Yeah,
Like,
And-
you
and,
got to be a
like,
professional all the time.
everybody is a fan, so they all know exactly who you are. So if you go to the grocery store, you're gonna get recognized. People are just like, "Oh, you suck, Bobby Ryan. Like, why
Yeah,
couldn't you score?" or something like that. So I think players definitely take that into account where they're playing, and
yeah, and it's just hard, like, mentally, to always have to be on, to always have to be kind of like responding to people
yeah, definitely
in a
draining.
professional manner, and especially if they're yelling like "you suck" across a grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
you don't.
Well, speaking of Bobby Ryan, the Senators are doing. They kind of fell back to reality a little bit.
They are not the pesky Sens anymore.
No, they've fallen back. Are they last or second to last?
No,
at this point?
they're officially last now.
Yeah. So it's looking like they'll probably stay there.
Yeah, barring Andrew Hammond coming back and lighting things up again.
Is he still with them?
No, I don't think so. He
thought
might be in the minors, but he's not.
I thought he got traded.
He could have.
I don't know. Hamburglar's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
The Senators need you, Andrew Hammond.
Yeah. They don't even have Lazar anymore to eat the burger.
That's right.
Is Lazar like playing for Calgary? Is he on Calgary still?
He was with their organization last I heard. He might not be on their NHL team.
Yeah. Yeah. What a career that guy's had.
All over.
He was like one of the best captains in Team Canada, and then just never panned out. But
it's unfortunate, but
maybe he still got.
From what I heard, he was a decent role player. He played well. He just never really found offense.
Yeah.
He just never got to produce well enough that would let him stay in the NHL.
Yeah, I think that happens like quite frequently when guys are used to being like top line, top two lines, and then they don't have what it takes to be top two lines in the NHL, and they just can't translate their game to third, fourth line.
It's hard to the transition from playing against junior players to NHL players. It's absurd. And you have to have so much talent to be able to excel.
Yeah.
To keep that, like how good you are compared to the competition when you move up to the NHL. That's you might be great in junior, but you might not be able to be that good in the NHL or play the same game.
Yeah, and just mentally being the guy on your team to being, a role guy.
Yeah.
Would be a major change.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the Senators, they're, like we said, they're kind of sucking again. And to top things off, they're probably going to have to give up that first round.
Well, they're
pick.
not. It's not probably. It is Colorado's pick.
Yeah. So it's Colorado's pick, and Ottawa's going to be last probably. So there's a good chance it's going to be the number 1 pick.
Yep.
So
and at the very least, what's it going to be, like top 3? I think is the farthest they can go down.
Yeah, I think so.
So they're getting Hughes, Kakko, or whoever's third. And I think that's a toss up. So.
Yeah. So, this organization could really use that pick, and it's just one more thing onto the pile of negative. Yeah, I think it's really bad.
I think at the time of the trade, there was no to think Ottawa would be where they are now after where they were 2 seasons ago. Is when they made the trade, it wasn't like it wasn't going to happen this way, and then everything went down the way it did in Ottawa, and the organization just tanked.
Yeah, I mean, to go from the conference finals to last place in
Game 7, double
seasons.
Overtime in the conference final, like it wasn't even like they got blown
so
out of the
close
conference.
To the finals. Yeah, but to just go from there to what were they last year? Like they were the bottom.
Yeah,
bottom of the pile. But
bottom of the pile. They had the 4th pick, so they were probably bottom, like around 5th or something. Last.
And then to be dead last, so to be that close to the finals and then dead last, there's something wrong. Yeah. Obviously, something wrong.
And I mean, you look at the amount of talent they've lost. Like Erik Karlsson was that team in the playoffs that one year.
Yeah.
He was playing on one foot. He still was most of that team.
Yeah, and to look at who's gone out and who's come back in, it's just massively imbalanced. Yeah. They've lost Karlsson, Hoffman, who else?
Method.
Yeah, Method, who Karlsson played with a lot.
Yeah, and that was an unreal D pairing.
Yeah.
Like they were a perfect match for each other.
Yeah, and then they've lost this first round pick.
And also look at the amount of random injuries they've had to deal with this season.
Yeah, and then Duchesne is probably going to leave.
Based off of how he left Colorado, I would have to assume that's likely.
Yeah.
Until earlier today, I just saw that contract talks had stopped between him and the team. But that was just today. But I have to imagine that's going to resume at some point.
Yeah, so they're going to lose Duchesne most likely. So what are they going to have? They're going to have Thomas Chabot, Brady Tkachuk, Mark Stone, and Anderson, who's 37?
Yeah, he's probably got another year or 2 in him.
And then I guess they have Borowiecki, the company guy. You can have his little chats with Melnick.
Yeah, well, a lot of those guys that have made the roster this year too are actually looking okay. Like Christian Yaros and Lajoie.
Yeah.
Some of these guys that just kind of popped up out of, I say nowhere because I never really heard of them, but they have filled a role for the team. And
Yeah,
I think
I mean-
Drake Batherson and Alex Fermenton too, they were both really, really good in the juniors, especially in the
Yeah.
junior tournament though, 2018.
Yeah, they definitely have like some prospects and some good players, but Duchesne's out probably. Bobby Ryan's consistently injured.
He just got injured again, I think. Actually, he left practice today with another hand injury, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, they have pretty much maybe like 5 or 6 guys left from that finals team.
Yeah,
Or that semifinals,
Just
conference finals. team.
crazy turnover.
So, yeah, I don't know what has to change, but I feel like it starts at the top.
It just sounded like a toxic environment that
Yeah.
needed. I mean, and even ownership looks pretty tumultuous at the time too.
Yeah.
With the arena situation.
I mean, no matter what happens, they are a team.
They are a team. They will never not be a team.
You have to remember that.
Yep.
They are a team.
Until they are not a team, they are a team.
So Ottawa fans have that to look forward to.
Yes.
They will be a team. They're always a team. They've treated their stars like crap. Even with like going back to Alfredson.
Oh, totally. I mean, he left because he was in like a management consultee type role, and he left because he just couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
I think that was what
And
came
even
out.
when he was a player too, they didn't want to re-sign him.
Yeah, and they wouldn't. He took a discount one contract, and I think they wouldn't give him back the next one.
And again, like they went to the finals.
Yep. Yeah, they lost to Anaheim in 07.
Yeah. So
And that was with Alfredson leading
yeah,
the team.
I think they have to bring back those jerseys,
I did like that logo.
the 2D Senators jerseys. I feel like that is the source of all these problems. Is these
Got to go back.
3D crazy jerseys?
Too much detail. There's too much pressure.
To bring it back to the 1991 roots, 1992 maybe. I think they're 91. I think they're a year before I was born, so 91.
Hmm.
But that's where it starts. You got to have a sick jersey,
Yeah.
and you'll do well.
And the other thing, I mean, it's just a fresh start. It's symbolic too.
Yeah. Go back to the roots.
Back to the roots.
Yeah. So, I mean, what else did you want to talk about here today? Could talk about the Oilers and their game against LA.
I got to be honest though, I did actually kind of tune out a lot of it.
Yeah.
I kind of lost hope after it was 2-0 10 minutes in, and I'm just kind of like, I had the game on in case something happened, but
It's just one of those games.
yeah,
You could tell.
you could
right
yeah
away.
you could tell right away there was nothing gonna happen when
Yeah.
they looked okay out of the gate the first like minute, and then they gave up a goal 3.5 minutes in, gave up another one a few minutes later, and both of them were not good goals. Like they
It's just
weren't.
not their night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the 5-0 challenge.
That was funny at the time.
Yeah.
It was like there's a minute and a half left. LA scores to go up 5-0, and Hitchcock challenges it. To be
Yeah.
fair, it was offside, so it shouldn't have counted, and it didn't. But it was
Yeah.
just kind of a funny sight where it's like this goal is meaningless, but you're gonna challenge it anyways.
Yeah, I guess it shows like thinking about it now, it's probably means a lot to your goaltender.
Yeah, and the team really. Like, you're still there. You're still gonna stick up for him.
Yeah.
Like you're not giving up. That it's a good message, symbolic message, just to be like, I'm not giving up.
Yeah. Cuz a lot of times on you said that was offside, but a lot of times on goaltender interference, you see the goalie just raging out.
Yep.
As soon as the goal goes in.
Yeah, they look right to the ref, arms up, like couldn't make it.
Yeah, and
couldn't
then a
save
lot
it.
of times they look to the bench and the coach
Yep.
obviously acknowledges them.
Yeah, and that's probably a huge signal that the coach gets a video guy on it.
And depending on, I'm sure there's come up in the NHL that a coach sees it wasn't goaltender interference, but they challenge it anyway for their goalie,
Yeah.
just to make him know, like, I'm there for you. Like, you think it's goaltender interference, so I'll challenge it.
Yeah. I mean, some of them too, like they're so borderline that you could
Yeah.
end up getting the call in your favor anyways.
It's like a coin flip,
Yeah, it really is.
Looking back, like, I mean, especially for you as an Oilers fan, the goaltender interference, like, what is goaltender interference?
Exactly.
That's what Cam Talbot's quote, like,
Yeah, what
I don't
even
even
is
know what it is anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they haven't really improved
No.
at that. In general,
I think-
NHL reffing consistency is
Yeah.
pretty bad.
I think this season the goaltender interference has been a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think now it's all situation room, right? So they've got one like one central source looking at every single play rather than
yeah, it for
different
sure
ref
seems
crews.
like the Oilers aren't getting dicked over as bad.
As bad, yeah. There's only been a couple that are like borderline, and it's hard for me to say whether or not they were the right call because I'm pretty biased, obviously.
I think this season it's more apparent with suspensions being arbitrarily handed out.
Yeah.
Because you have like Mike Matheson, you have that happen, and then you have who is it?
It was
TJ Oshie.
Was it Tanev?
No,
or
it
Lemieux?
it was the D man. Their D man who's lighting it up. Winnipeg Jets. What's his name?
What's his name? Truba, Morrissey, Bufflin, Morrissey.
Morrissey, yeah. Thank you.
Just name them all.
Morrissey threw TJ Oshie to the ice with probably more force than Matheson did with Pedersen, but because TJ Oshie's a heavier guy.
Yeah.
And he landed right on his back. He missed quite a few games. I don't know how many.
He was out for a few weeks at least.
Yeah. And Kuznetsov got knocked out of that game too. I think that was Tanev.
Yeah.
Tanev
that
elbowed
was
him
an
in the
elbow or
head.
something.
Neither of them got suspensions, but you've seen very similar plays, and in the Morrissey one, an exact same play gets suspended.
Yeah. Well, it's the wheel of justice.
Yeah.
Like there is, like, even going back to other years, there is no real consistency, or what looks like consistency to the fans anyways, between what's suspendable, what's 1 game, what's 2 games, what's 5.
Yeah, it just seems like such a hamster wheel, pick a ball.
Yep.
Like, it just
Lottery machine.
What is going on?
Actually, maybe just to save money, they're using a lottery machine from the draft just to drop out a ball with the number on it.
Yeah, they should
Makes
just
sense.
televise it.
Yeah, televise the suspension draft.
Tom Wilson gets
and that one was actually
16 games.
Yeah, someone accidentally just picked up 2 balls at once.
Yeah,
that's why it was 16.
Add them together. Yeah, or if it's a 1 and a 6,
Exactly.
You can change it around. It'd be 61. Yeah.
Better be glad that they came out that way then.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It just seems very, very crazy when you have very similar plays that don't get suspended and one does.
Yeah.
And like the Carlson suspension, like we've seen that play all season basically, and then he gets suspended for that.
Yeah, and I think too they're really trying to cut down on like unnecessary headshots, unnecessary violence, and you see headshots and totally unnecessary plays, unnecessary hits that don't get penalized, don't get suspensions. And suddenly, well, that's okay now, but you don't want that.
Yeah, that's kind of like that Sam Bennett hit. It was like very late in the game, and he just went after a guy very, very late.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, traditionally not suspension worthy, but, it's totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
So I guess they just I don't know if they even kicked him out of the game, but, I mean, that's probably all we really need. But you got to start somewhere with these hits when they're totally unnecessary, dangerous hits.
And it's like you want to be sure you can teach the players what is and isn't a good hit, and when there's no real like guideline or consistency in what is and isn't, like you end up with, I mean, Tom Wilson admitted like I have no idea what's a good hit anymore.
Yeah,
he said that. Well, it's like with him it's a little bit of a different case, I think.
Yeah.
But you end up with a lot of players who have no idea what's going on, like what's good, what's bad.
It's not like a learning moment anymore. Just like goaltender interference.
Yeah.
Like all you're getting is frustrated players because they don't know what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing to have in a league of professional athletes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope moving forward that they can kind of get some more consistency.
I think, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, too, these types of calls are relatively new within the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So you hope within the next, 2-3 seasons that it'll get real dialed down to a point that we can kind of learn to expect certain results off of certain plays.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we're almost at 40 minutes here. Maybe we should just call it a wrap here. So again, congratulations to Finland.
Great tournament.
Yeah, well deserved. They look strong. I mean, you make your own bounces, you make your own luck in that Canada game.
Oh, totally. I mean, they kept with Canada all game. They kept pace, and then they got rewarded for it. And unfortunate series of events for Canada on the tying goal and then overtime, but you can't. Finland didn't give up, and they played hard.
They had 60 minutes plus to put it away, and they didn't. So yeah, congratulations to Finland. And I guess this was our first try, so maybe we'll change it up next time. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say here?
Nope. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye.